episode 2 of yesterday's insights. Truth be told, today I started off a little rocky. I woke up at 12 and it felt like all of the momentum that I was trying to establish yesterday just sort of broke or at least cut down halfway. And it got me thinking, you know, if you double down on what you've already accomplished, you can accomplish exponentially. And for most people that seems a little out of their reach. Like, how do you even double down on what you've already accomplished? So today I want to talk about building momentum for your life, and my practical approach that might not be the best approach, but it's one that works for me presently. First thing that you have to absolutely do is just show up for yourself, right? People aren't going to show up for you, but you have to for yourself. What does that mean? It means that if I'm creating a video like this, I can't expect people to come and watch it. All I can expect from myself is to keep putting out more videos, and hopefully they get the viewership that they deserve. And and just because you don't get to experience the results from that immediately does not mean that you stop putting on that show. It does not mean that you get disheartened, because at the end of the day, then what's only going to keep your engine running is that positive feedback. The moment that that disappears, you are left with nothing. It's not a good way to go about living your day, just seeking for validation from external sources when you know that you have to muster up all of that from within and put that out there into the work that you are doing. I recently read this quote, and it was beautiful the way that it was put. It said that it's not about being the best. You don't have to be the best at anything, really. That's just a myth that we all buy into simply because we let our insecurities run wild and we don't give ourselves the leeway to be imperfect when everybody else is just as flawed as us, if not more. So, what is it really about if it's not about being the best? It's about being your best. There's so much difference between both of them. There's so much difference between being the best and being your best. But at the end of the day, both of them are the same thing. It's just that the way in which people take it, kind of, you have to make that distinction, because you are the best according to you, because that's what fits you and serves you well. Uh, it's a little twisted how that works, and I'm not sure if I'm able to articulate it properly. But the most important, crucial thing that I've discovered for myself is that it's not about being the best, it's about being your best. Does not matter if somebody else is creating better videos than me. What matters most is that I am creating the best videos I can. And there is so much variation within that also, because I am proficient with editing. I am proficient with a little bit of VFX. Although it takes me a lot more time doing all of that, I am proficient with speaking. I am proficient with filmmaking as a whole, which means that I can take the quality of my video much higher in terms of a audiovisual standpoint. But I choose not to. Why? Because I feel like my best has to come through with me being able to articulate certain ideas and for you to have to think about them, right? For me, being my best is literally me being able to entertain you without any fancy gimmicks, much like other YouTubers do. Now, this does not place me higher than them. This does not place me below them. This puts me in the same playground as them. It's just that we're doing separate things. Like I mentioned yesterday, it's important to grow separately when you're trying to grow differently. So, momentum. It's it's a little intoxicating when you first start to get into the groove of things. I remember throughout my fitness journey, and for those that don't know, I I'm quite into calisthenics. Like calisthenics is one of my favorite things to do, and I am the one that showstops everybody at the gym. Like all the trainers make fun of me. They say that Philip, you pay for the gym membership not for the gym equipment but for the venue, and that's so true. Like I just like hanging out with a bunch of other people that also are taking their fitness seriously, but I don't let that shadow how much fun I can have in the gym. I'm not very strict with the way that I work out in the gym. I'm just happy to be there, and I'm just happy to be testing the limitations of my body through movement. And that's about it. So when I was getting neck deep into all of that, I remember the momentum was just so, like, it was just there, man. I was unstoppable. I was working out twice a day for 6 days a week. And like the rest days also I used to do light cardio, and just it was beautiful, that phase of intensity. And it seems like a lot of work from somebody who is looking from the external, looking into my life. But to me, that was just all play. That was just all fun. The same way, when you are trying to do something, there's going to be a lot of resistance and there's going to be a lot of friction, but it's just important to just keep showing up for yourself, even if you are not outputting the best performance. You're just outputting your best at that given state. That's so crucial, because that's what's going to make you closer to the best, because your best is miles apart from when you initially started without knowing what your best was. And it's very close to the best from where you started. It's all about relativity, right? There is nothing as the best, it's just your best is the best. I keep having to reiterate on that because I truly believe in that. Um, so, right now, I am trying to discover computer science again for myself. I had that in my 11th and 12th grade as an optional subject, and I know my ins and out pretty decently through C++. But that's about it. Like I indulged myself in a few school related projects, but also some independent projects with my friends, where we designed a game and all of that. That was cool. That experience was pretty nice. But soon after that, when I started to branch out into filmmaking a little further, when it came to my college education, I kind of let go of that computer science background. But now, seeing how AI is literally taking over everything and is most likely gonna be like more than just a chatbot. People take large language models or things like ChatGPT as just a chatbot, but like we need to think of it in a larger concept of like what can this mean if this is an operating system. So it helps to just peel back under the curtain a little bit and discover for yourself what even is the mechanism in which this works. So just out of that curiosity, I started digging deep into it, and you need coding knowledge for it, and it's a little difficult for you to get back into that zone, especially when you are trying a different language. Like C++ is the mother of all languages in a sense, but even then, switching to something like Python and understanding GitHub cloning and repositories, and there's just so much terms and things that like just keep make you feel stuck. But I know that I am comprehending this to the best of my capability, and I know that if I keep showing up for myself day in day out, that eventually everything is just going to start making sense, and it's going to click. It's always that limbo phase when you are trying to turn a chapter in the book of your life, that you face the most difficulties with things, because that's when things are just so unclear for you. And that leads to a lot of overwhelm, and that's what I'm facing right now. um, it's not a fun place to be in. But I feel like it's important that we stress upon the fact that we need to wholeheartedly give faith to ourselves that the process is going to be a little monotonous and it's not going to be clear or straightforward in the very beginning, but just trust in that journey so that you can inevitably be successful. So, this is my approach to building momentum in my life. Um, it helps to not indulge in things that deter you from this momentum. So, for example, if you're trying to cut weight, it helps to not go out eating as much. It helps to not drink as much. It helps to quit smoking. It helps to do all of that positive attributes that you very well know. Like, I don't need to reiterate all of these to you. The same way, whatever is hindering your momentum or your process of discovering a new avenue of life, or just being more in tune with something that you've already been doing and just being able to do that more efficiently. I think cutting out vices is a very big thing. Like, I get very distracted very quickly. I have a lot of focus for the things that I put my mind to, but after that period of intensity, when it comes to that focused stretch, it's just I need to take my mind off of it immediately. Like, there is no gray area. It's like a 0 and 1. Like, I can flip my switch quite instantaneously when it comes to you know placing myself in that focus zone, especially now that I've built a sort of vibe to get into that zone. Like, I have a playlist dedicated specifically to just snap myself out of the limbo that I'm facing and to like lock my mind into a certain focused mode. It's like it literally feels like a flipper switch. Um, and yeah, like immediately after I put on that playlist and I like listen to the 4 songs that are on there, like I'm already locked in on that zone and I don't listen to that music for leisure at all. If you want me to share that playlist with you, I'll drop that down in the description. But that helps me to just get locked into that zone. And I think that's very important that you take the time to discover the sort of things that you can use to your ability to lock yourself into the zone. Like, for example, if you've read Atomic Habits by James Clear, he mentions that if you are used to putting on a certain type of music before sex, uh, like just for example, one particular song right before sex, and you keep doing that for a long time, automatically when that music plays in a context that's not um, sexual with a partner, it can put you in that state of like, holy shit, why do I feel aroused all of a sudden? So that same way, this set of music in the particular order plays into that for me. Like by the end of the 4th song, I am locked and loaded. Like it's just, let's get this over with. I am I'm like a sharpshooter. Like I'm just there. I'm locked in, I'm zoned in, and I'm ready to go. But after that period of intensity is done, I don't feel like doing anything else except for distracting my mind with cheap entertainment. Like cheap entertainment can still be valuable. There's no issue with cheap entertainment, but you just need to know how to control how much cheap entertainment you let into your life, which I've noticed over the past months. It's been it's been a rather lot. Um, they did have their use, and they still do, in the sense that they help me discover so many insights for myself. But you should know when to discard of those old models that are not serving you well, and I don't think they are gonna be serving me all that much anymore. So Recognize all of these things, work towards eliminating the things that you don't need. It's basically the concept of addition by subtraction. You eliminate things, and then all of a sudden you automatically added things into your life without even having to add anything into your life. So bottom line is this: building momentum is easy. It's just a little tedious, and it requires a little bit of proactive effort when you're first starting out. But after you've started out with it, after you get into the groove of it, it's cakewalk. And people from the outside are going to look at you, and they're going to wonder how you are able to do it with the consistency and the effortlessness that you are demonstrating to them.